Hi everyone, welcome to your latest Planning Outlook updated on Friday the 28th of February. I'm recording this from a very soggy placid Brennan in Snowdonia where the wind and the rain has been relentless most of the day and there's plenty more weather to come as things stay rather unsettled in the days ahead. Some snowfalls across the mountains once again, freezing levels staying generally low. It's a cold pattern that takes us into the first week of March. Your temperature sequence looking like this overnight into Saturday with a warm sector briefly across the country with temperatures temporarily up to freezing point or just above towards higher slopes. But then we get a cold front that comes in from the west and temperatures already dropping by first light on Saturday and summit temperatures below -5 looking likely, at least on the highest tops in Scotland. Freezing levels down to 400 metres or even below at times. Onwards with the sequence through into the start of next week, and it's generally a cold air mass that prevails, not a great deal of change through Sunday, onwards into Monday and Tuesday. The air that's around is more or less staying in place. As the week goes on, maybe just getting the odd warm sector that comes into the south of the country with the temperatures lifting to about freezing point or just above on the tops in England and Wales, but it's a struggle to do that for too long. The overriding message is still one of sub-zero conditions on many mountains for the week ahead. Here's the snow sequence in 6-hour steps, the general ongoing accumulation and starting off early on Saturday. Most extensive snow very much across the Scottish Highlands. Further snow accumulating though across the hills as we go through Saturday afternoon as a wraparound of a front comes in within that cold air, and that's through into Saturday evening and night. If I move things on basically through into Sunday, snow accumulating again extensively to greater depths across the Highlands once more. See how the colours start to darken once again. And if I just take things on very quickly through into the middle of next week, well, there's still an extensive amount of lying snow across the Highlands, and there's still snow showing up across the Pennines, across the lakes, and across into Wales as well. This all the way through into Thursday and Friday. Significant avalanche risk at the moment, even in the short term, with temperatures fluctuating and further snow to fall. Synoptic charts for the next few days. Saturday sees that cold front clearing eastwards, temperatures then dropping as mentioned. The centre of low pressure is out to the west, which sweeps in with deteriorating conditions again, and snow turning up and setting in quickly in the afternoon across the western Scottish mountains into northwest England, the lakes and the Pennines later, and also across into North Wales, although for Wales it may be more showery in nature, but still the risk of setting in with snow to quite low levels for a time at least. Severe gales, storm-force winds developing across the hills of England and Wales in particular, a comparative lull towards northern Scotland, but quite a mess in terms of the wind detail for the Highlands. It could well strengthen at times at least. It's Sunday and low pressure is still toward the north, some uncertainty with just the extent of the wraparound of various fronts, giving in some places almost constant snow and whiteout, others places just seeing areas of showers, but the idea of severe conditions on the mountains at times at least worth considering. The wind speed, again, open to some question. Far north of Scotland, near the centre of the low, could see quite a lull, but you don't have to go too much further south to find the real squeeze of the isobars and the risk of severe gales across the mountains, so keep an eye on your local forecasts for Sunday. Same low pressure system is around, gradually sort of filling and weakening as we go through into the start of next week. Still the risk though of areas of snow and hail coming in from the west in showers, sometimes frequent across western Scotland in particular. Eastern Scotland the driest of all, and for England and Wales, again, more likely showers, but could still be frequent coming into some western coastal hills at times. It stays cold and it stays windy, blustery, squally showers at times. Local lulls in the wind may occur. Same low pressure system is not too far away on Tuesday. Still a story of showers coming in on that cold westerly wind. In places again, they could be quite organised. Further south you go, more likely to be flurries and a bit more scattered. For the next area of low pressure is threatening to move in off the Atlantic. Still looks a blustery day and it's still cold across the mountains. Different looking chart by Wednesday, detail somewhat uncertain, it must be said, just where the track of this low does move to. It may give a lull in conditions and a brighter day for the northern half of the British Isles, but it could be that for Wales in particular, things go downhill with the scope for some snowfalls if that low runs into the cold air. It's one of those times where confidence isn't that high, so getting absolute detail is very treacherous 4 or 5 days down the line at the moment. So I won't try and get too clever. Basically, the idea of that low moving its way eastwards through the middle of the week, sticking with a chilly air mass. A general westerly type is still around. Attempts of high pressure to get in aren't really there at the moment. It's still more lower pressure systems that are set to dominate even later next week. Some suggestions then as we go a little bit further through next weekend and onwards into the following week, the second full week of March, that high pressure from the Azores begins to build a little bit further northwards, and that's likely to bring quieter conditions, at least to the southern half of the British Isles, and generally milder temperatures with the source of the air coming up a bit more from the southwest. So starting to nudge its way into something a bit more spring-like. It could be that generally freezing levels are towards higher tops that with time and a bit of a thaw begins to develop. Those changes, though, are still a long way off, and there's another week of cold weather on the mountains before we get there. Stay up to date then with your local forecasts every day on our website. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.